Hey, welcome back to Your Own University TV. My name is Lisha, and today we're going to talk about breaking down to break through. This is something that's all over my Facebook feed right now. People are saying, it's okay to break down, it's okay to break down. And I know I went through it last night and yesterday, so you might have too.
Join us at Your Own University. Like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. You're not going to want to miss a bit of this.
Nobody wants to have a breakdown, and there's no time that we can really choose to have a breakdown and it feel good. It sucks. But if there's one thing that I've learned in my life is usually we have to have a breakdown to have a breakthrough. When you allow yourself to break down and share your thoughts, share your vulnerabilities, share yourself with yourself or God or the people around you, then that's when breakthrough gets to happen. And there's a couple different ways to do this. So yesterday I had a total breakdown, really between me and God. The day before that, I think, was me and the girls in my house, my family. And we've been inside for about 3 weeks now, but really even a week before that, just our natural ability to be inside because we had spring break, then we had all of March. Now we're in April and we're having this breakdown, right? So my kids are doing the breakdown and they actually happened to have the breakdown first. And now then I had a breakdown and it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. I really did isolate myself. I went downstairs, I got on my face, I prayed, I cried, I got angry, I journaled, I yelled into my carpet, right? Like all of these things to have a healthy breakdown and not break down on somebody else or something else. As a therapist, we talk about like breaking down and managing your thoughts and controlling your emotions and what that feels like and what that looks like. And it's really different for everybody. And so what I want to share with you today is kind of what I'm doing during this breakdown, how I'm supporting the girls in my house, my kids, and how I support my clients and how I'm handling it myself. So at the beginning of this pandemic, you might have noticed that this website actually changed. This YouTube channel kind of changed from me doing these videos all the time and going on adventures and sharing things with you about living your best life to this series about really embodying who you are. And that really came to me through an expression, and it's cost me a lot. Right? It really has cost me a lot to, one, really shift gears and pivot to do a series that I felt called to do from a higher place, to shift gears and pivot and do something that I said, oh, I'm not going to do that again. And shift gears and pivot and really allow people to express themselves, connect with them, relate to them, and show my own vulnerability, right? Which can sometimes cost me, break me in order for me to have a breakthrough. So there's steps to breaking through. First thing is we have a breakdown, and that breakdown usually means that you are being asked by your higher self, by universe, by consciousness, by the people around you, to show your vulnerability, to get really real with yourself, to ask yourself those hard questions and look at yourself internally in a way that is going to help you build an inventory of where you are to bridge into where you want to be. And the breakdown is the resistance. The breakdown is the massive resistance. And we talked about that today with my interview with Kristen Plannings. We talked about resistance and how it's just nasty. It looks like fear. It looks like judgment. It looks like self-ridicule. It just shows you all the pieces about who you are or where you're going that you need to examine and clarify and own and shift and pivot for yourself. It looks different than a no. A no is something that has none of those things. A no is very clear. It's very open. It's very like, it feels good. It feels like a relief to say no, right? It feels like a relief to let go. So there's the difference between resistance. We have a breakdown. The breakdown shows us our resistance. And in order to move through that resistance, what I advise my clients to do, what I've advised the girls to do, and what I've done myself is really take that internal dialogue with myself, with yourself, and ask, well, where am I judging here? Where am I resisting here? What is being asked of me to look at? And where am I looking at the problem and focusing on the problem and wallowing in the problem, like rolling around in it? And where can I shift and pivot to be more open to solution? So it might mean having a vulnerable conversation with somebody. I know that's what happened in the household. I have 3 teenage girls here, and they were all like, ah! And we had to have some really deep conversations about boundaries, about respecting each other's space, about inclusion, and about allowing for alone time, right? Because we all have to do this within the household. So if somebody goes off and needs alone time, we need to set that boundary. Hey, I'm going to take some alone time. I need to just have my space right now. And then everybody else gets to respect that space in order to have the peace. When feelings are hurt, right, we have to show that vulnerability. When we need clarity, we get to have the opportunity to ask for that clarity. For me, my breakdown was about just serving, right? And not really being able to be understood, not feeling received. And I just cried. I cried it out. I went and I flop and plopped in my Bible and was ready to really get ridiculed and beat up by God and hear what a horrible person I am. And it really turned out to be something beautiful, right? This is just rest in me. So in order to rest in him, I had to be vulnerable with my own relationship with Source. And I got mad. I got really, really mad. And I let myself break down in order to break through. So I'm not saying that everything is perfect and I'm totally on the other side and on this breakthrough, but I do feel movement. The other part of this that we talked about today is really looking at the solution. How can you be open to the solution? So for me, I've been pouring out and pouring out and pouring out. I did an Unstoppable Confidence event the beginning of March, and I've let that stay open way long. And that's my own perception. But in that, I have felt drained. So what I'm doing is I'm loosening that up, and I'm choosing to pivot and shift my focus onto other things that are going to lift me up. So I'm going to paint the trim in my house and continue on to other projects and shift my focus from business building and from helping people and from serving. I've been on the internet a lot doing these interviews and lives and just connecting with people and making sure my friends are okay and watching out for my kids' friends and just really trying to be there for everybody, including myself, because I have that relationship with myself. And it led to that breakdown because my vulnerability triggered other people. And what happens now is I'm going to pivot. And I'm going to really focus on filling my cup another way. And so another thing that's going to make me feel really great and bring more peace into my life is painting the trim in my house. And I have all the material to do that, right? And it takes my mind off of business. It lets me put that back in God's hands and Source's hands and say, okay, flow through me. Those who I'm supposed to work with, bring to me. I'm not running. Lets me have more peace. I'm not trying to just work, right? So if you're wondering how do I solve this problem? How do I make peace in my house? How do I keep it all together? I want to invite you to possibly feel into it and allow yourself to create a space for you. And I totally shut myself off in the room. I asked the girls, I set my boundaries. I said, girls, I just need some time to myself, to be in my thoughts, to be in my feelings, to be between me and God. And just I need this space, right? And they were very respectful to give that to me. So I set my boundaries. Then I went and I had my breakdown. And my breakthrough, I feel is really coming back to the things that I really enjoyed that seem fun and effortless. One are these videos, right? I love doing these. They're fun. I feel like I get to teach, which I absolutely love. They're light, and hopefully they bless your life. And if they do, please subscribe and share them with your friends, because it fills me up to give this gift to you, for you to truly receive it and to know that you receive it. That fills me up. Another thing is having my house put together, and I have a lot of projects to do around the house to prepare it for its next adventure. So I'm going to paint, and I have time on my hands to do this, and that's going to allow me to listen to some great books on tape and meditations and inspirations in my life, and allow me to just kind of get into a different groove where I'm filling up on, I'm getting things done and being productive. If you've watched my series for a long time, you know that that's something that means a lot to me. And, but at the same time, it's safe, it's in the house, it's responsible for what we have going on in the world. And it is going to give me some space. You know, sometimes we need to pivot and shift in order to find a solution, to open up space for a solution, to open up space for other ideas that we don't even know that we don't know yet to come in and bring us peace. So if you've been focusing on one area and trying to build or solve a problem, my suggestion to you is to shift, to pivot into something else that's going to be easier to fulfill, that's going to fill you up. And my next suggestion here is to know that you can, and oftentimes we need to have a breakdown in a safe, contained space in order to have a breakthrough. So if you need support to have your breakdown, need somebody to talk to, you can always reach out to me. I'm absolutely here, even if I'm painting. And look me up at lishaantica.com. We do have single sessions open this time of year because of this pandemic and so many people having a breakdown, so you can have your breakthrough. I hope this video helps you, gives you some new perspective, and that you hear my heart. I love you, and thank you for being here.